on their life. And a lot of times you guys don't even know it. It's just life. I mean, and when you look back on your life, there's things that people have probably said to you that you can recall. And I guarantee if you picked up the phone and called that person now and said, hey, 15 years ago you said these words, they wouldn't even remember those words. So, I mean, don't discount how important you are to people every single day and how you have that opportunity to change their life. But then there's times that things happen that changes your life. The opposite can happen. And I have a guest with me today who that happened to him. And he's taken that life-changing moment to change lives. So at the tender age of 14, Trenell's athletic prowess earned him a top spot in the Sherman High School varsity football game, which was a big deal. 14 years old, he's playing with the big boys. He was living up to all expectations when he experienced a life-changing football injury, resulting in paralysis from the neck down. What were meant to be his high school glory days turned to temporary defeat. And I just love that, temporary defeat. In Trenell's eyes, temporary defeat does not mean permanent failure. Using the same determination and perseverance he relied on as an athlete, Trenell shifted his sights from an athletic career to one of serving others. His faith, family, community support, along with Trenell's effect, have contributed to his success. This phenomenal young man has inspired people with and without disabilities, students in elementary through college, and his message of hope and perseverance has helped troubled teens, athletes, nonprofit organizations, and business owners triumph beyond limitations. Trenell inspires you to turn your desperation into inspiration. I met Trenell through a mutual friend who at Rock of Love event, thank you Brandy, asked if I knew of a place or someone who would help by just making copies of some flyers for a book signing event. And I'm like, well, heck, we can do that. We've got a good printer at the office. We'll just make those copies for you. And that's how I met Trenell. And after reading his story and listening to how he's chosen to use the accident to really change and inspire lives, I just wanted you guys to meet him too, because every single day we get to choose how we want to live our life every single day. And a lot of emphasis for the last year or so especially has been on you guys taking those moments and making sure that those moments matter. We have a lot of urgencies. We have customers calling with 911s, and at that moment, that is a priority, and that's where we shift our focus. But it's really important that you also take a pause and shift focus on really what's important in life. And it's really hard. And I went to bed last night just really frustrated, just this feeling of emotional frustration. And God dang it, I'm gonna cry again.
Making me cry too.
But so many times I have chosen my dang laptop and what I thought was urgent at the moment over the moment, and I miss the moment because of a choice that I made to pick up my laptop and just answer this one last email, or just handle this one thing while it was fresh on my mind, and then I look up and the moment's gone. I totally missed it, and I don't get that moment again. So though we prioritize our customers by, who's got the most 911 right now, got a phone call yesterday over now all of a sudden we've got to have underpinning done on a house for a loan that's supposed to get clear to close and close today. And all of a sudden our priorities shift for that moment. But you still have to be so present and be mindful of the fact that you can't get sucked into the vortex. If you're gonna handle that one thing, handle it and get off. because I missed a moment. I missed some moments yesterday evening that was just kind of stupid because I got sucked into the vortex and I pulled my laptop out. So finding those boundaries and setting those boundaries to make sure that you are making those moments matter is really, really important. Because you just never know when something might happen to you that defines your life forever. It won't define it necessarily in a negative way, but it really does cause you to reflect on making sure that those things in the past that you did do really count. So I'm going to turn it over to Trenell, and he's going to talk about the Trenell Effect. I want to remind you guys this is section 2 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Number 2 is having the end in mind, which is perfect for his message today, because really for me, having that end in mind is really when my life is over, did what I do today really matter? Or if something changes the trajectory of my life, is what I've done in the past or what I did today really matter? And really focusing on that whenever you're having that end in mind.
Guys, I mean, y'all got to give a round of applause for that. For those, raise your hand if you doesn't have any of a little package. Because basically what we're going to do is, as I go through the Trenell Effect, I'm going to ask you to take notes as you go, and then at the end, we're going to do a little activity. So, all right, we'll go ahead and start. A young pastor was having lunch one day at a restaurant when he opened up a letter that he received from his mom, and out comes $20. He thinks to himself, yes, my mama loves me. Yes, 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 my mama loves me. As he wraps up his meal, he looks to his right out the window and notices a homeless man leaning up against the pole. And he thinks to himself, he can probably use this more than I can. So he marks out the names on the envelope, and at the top, he writes in big letters, persevere. So as he was leaving, he tucks the envelope underneath his arm, and he walks out because he didn't want to cause a scene. And as he walked past the homeless man, he drops the letter and keeps walking. The homeless man picks up the letter and reads the message and smiles real big. The next day, the young pastor is eating lunch again at the same restaurant, and that same man comes up to him and taps him on the shoulder. The young pastor turns around and looks at him, and the man hands him a wad of money. Pastor looks at him confused, like, what is this for? He was like, this is your half of the earnings. Persevere got first place at the track yesterday, and it paid 20-1. I'm going to share with you the value of perseverance. I'm going to empower you to never quit no matter how hard it gets by sharing how I persevere. I'm going to give you the 7 principles of perseverance and performance that I use daily. I call them the Trenell Effect. I'm also going to show you how valuable you are and the powerful impact you have on your team as well as those you serve. Because whether you realize it or not, you have an effect that influences your life and those around you. Once you understand your value and apply the Trenell Effect to your life, you will feel motivated and realize it's impossible to stop a motivated person because they would never quit. And I'm super excited that when I was talking to Michelle, she was telling me that y'all were reading the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, because that's like one of my favorite books. And chapter 2 is my favorite, because we got to take a moment to have that picture of what we want our day as well as our life to end. I don't know about you, but did you ever get asked the question as a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? I already knew what I wanted to be when I grow up. In my mind, I was already playing in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys. Football was my life. It was my passion. It was going to be the vehicle I used to pay for college and to end the financial struggles of my family. I knew my mom wouldn't be able to afford for me to go to college because she was a single parent that took care of 2 boys, as well as my grandmother, who also had a disability. She only had a 9th grade education, so she couldn't get a high-paying job. She worked a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs, only making $5.25 an hour at that time. I had already knew college was going to be the step to get me to my ultimate goal, to the NFL. I had already envisioned being picked in the first round of the NFL draft and signing a contract that earned me enough money where I will be able to retire my mom from her job, buy her a new house and a car. Everything was going as planned when I entered high school because I was achieving my goal of playing on the varsity football as a freshman. I was living up to all the expectations of others. Well, not planned, went astray. Because it's been said the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. I will never forget the night. It was on October 20th, 1995. The lights from Bearcat Stadium shined on the field, capturing my performance. The cold October breeze nipped at my skin as I moved to the left side of the defensive line to take my position. I looked to my right to make sure the quarterback had the ball. I was waiting for him to receive the ball. He received the ball and immediately tossed it to the running back headed in my direction. I read the play like a book. I blitzed upfield to stop the running back. He saw me and tried to reverse field to avoid a loss. He slipped. I made a textbook tackle from behind, hitting the running back, wrapping him up and driving him toward the ground. Unknowing to me, my teammate was coming from the opposite side to assist, launching himself at the falling running back, but he missed. It hit me instead, shattering the 4th vertebrae in my neck and bruising my spinal cord, leaving me paralyzed from the neck down. Like I said in the introduction, what were meant to be my high school glory days turned to temporary defeat. And in my eyes, temporary defeat does not mean permanent failure, because nothing beats a failure but a try. I tried a bad attitude. I tried blaming others. Things didn't change until I tried the 7 principles that I'm about to share with you. If you would, turn, I think page 2 is the Trenell Effect. And I'm gonna go through these letters. So the Trenell Effect will influence you to T, take action. That's what goes in the blank, take action. I was devastated after my injury. The life that I was used to, and the life that I planned, no longer existed. Depression took advantage of my weakened state, causing me to want to do nothing, except ask the question, why me? Raise your hand if you've never experienced a situation in life that caused you to ask, why me? I didn't want to do nothing except sleep. Because when I was asleep, the nightmare of being paralyzed faded away. And I was enjoying my life to the fullest, doing the things that I was doing before. I was even playing the sport I love. But when I woke up, the nightmare was back and depression had gripped me again, causing me to want to do nothing. Do you know what the problem is with doing nothing? It doesn't end until you do something. I decided to take control of my life by taking action to find the silver lining. In any bad situation that you go through, there is something good that can be found in it. There's something you can gain from it, and there's something you can learn from it. A way to be able to recognize the silver lining is recognizing that you have a choice. It may not seem like you're doing the difficult time that you're going through, but you do. I was unaware of it until someone brought it to my attention. Here are some questions that I asked myself to put things in perspective. And I actually want you to write these down so you can actually ask yourself when you're going through a troubled time. The first question is there anything I can do in the next 2 weeks in my personal and professional life that will make things worse? The second question is there anything that I can do in the next 2 weeks in my personal and professional life that will make things better? By asking yourself these questions, you are able to identify your situation, the things that are harmful and the things that are helping. The things that you can do in the next 2 weeks to get you out of that hardship and that troubling situation, that is your silver lining. Silver linings gives us hope and motivation to keep going. My silver lining was my faith in Jesus Christ. It actually helped me release me from the grips of depression. I had to take control of my life and take action by exercising my faith. Faith required me to begin with the end in mind, because Hebrews 11:1 says faith is the confidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I decided to go ahead and pray. I was 17 years old. After 3 years, I was tired of being sick and tired of crying myself to sleep. Tears rolled down my face as I laid in bed in darkness. And I finally asked Jesus to come into my life and have his way. My eyes closed tight, and I had a peace within me that passed all understanding. And I heard a tender voice say, "Trenell, you put football before me. I don't want anything put before me. But through this injury, I'm inspire others that if they put me first and use their mind to the fullest, they can do anything. My purpose is bigger than playing football. It is to be able to help individuals and organizations to unleash their unstoppable potential and triumph beyond limitations." If you ever find yourself going through a struggle, I encourage you to take action to find the silver lining, knowing that proper action leads to satisfaction. Now this leads us to let's talk about the R, resilience. In the middle of my depression, I had a dream that actually helped put my life into perspective. The first vision I had was of the world spinning on its axis slowly. This made me realize that whether I throw a pity party or not, life is going to continue, and I'm choosing to miss out on it. The next thing I had was a dream of that faded away. And then I had a vision of a fish swimming upstream like a salmon does to spawn. The water flowing downstream represented the rest of the world. Those that are able-bodied typically run smoothly. And what I mean by this is an able-bodied person can feed themselves, get themselves dressed, and take care of themselves with limited physical assistance. I was the fish swimming upstream, overcoming obstacles, but despite my disability. I had to remind myself of what Dory told Nemo in Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. And I encourage you to do the same. You're gonna experience obstacles in your life. But just like Dory told Nemo, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. After waking up from this dream, I realized that I had a choice. I can continue to let depression paralyze me just as my body was paralyzed, or I could do something to take control of my life. It wouldn't be the life that I had before. I would never get that back. But I did have to choose to take control of my life and how it unfolded from this point. And I chose to live. And I want you to write this acronym down for live. Laugh, inspire, value, enjoy. So let's talk about laugh. Laugh is good. Laughing, I want you to remember to laugh as long as you breathe. Laughing makes you feel good. It reduces the stress. I know for me, whenever I want to feel like laughing, man, I turn on me some YouTube video or some TikTok video. Yeah. And it makes me feel good about the situation. And I encourage you to do the same, as well as getting some laffy taffy corny jokes or something into your system that will make you laugh. I challenge you to laugh 12 times a day. 12 times a day keeps anger and depression away. So now let's talk about inspire. One of the definitions for inspire is to breathe life into. And I had to breathe life into myself by having a gratitude list. Gratitude is the healthy of all human emotions. So this is what I challenge you to do. To get a gratitude journal and write down what you're grateful. Write this question down. What am I grateful for? And the next question is, why? Because when you think about the why, it actually gives you an opportunity to really think deeper about the reason that you're grateful for. And each day, think of something new that you're grateful for. And now let's talk about the V, value. Value every moment. Because as you see, like my injury, it can change in a blink of an eye. I don't know about you, but I have an issue of having one foot in the future, thinking about the stuff that I need to do or stuff that I can't control. And I got another foot in the past, thinking about the shoulda, woulda, couldas. And I'm forgetting about the present. Find 5 things throughout your day that brings joy to you. If you can't find them, create them by calling a friend up and just letting them know I appreciate you and that I love you. It also may be, as the sun get ready to go down, go out to the lake and watch the sun set. Or if you got a significant other, you might want to cuddle up with next to them and watch a movie or something. I don't know. But again, value that moment. And the last one is enjoy. Enjoy people, enjoy every day, and the people in your life. Because you never know when you're not going to get a chance to do it. So I encourage you again to stay present in the moment, to inspire others, and to laugh. Life is too short and too unpredictable, so you might as well enjoy the hand you've been dealt. Again, be resilient by choosing to live one day at a time. So let's go to the E, encourage. As you go through living one day at a time, there are going to be some things that's going to be discouraging. It may be missing out on closing a deal on a prospect or dealing with family issues. For me, being paralyzed sucks. I mean, it is very discouraging. I have to depend on people for everything that I need physically. And in doing so, it caused me to have this internal battle inside my head, dealing with thoughts of being a burden. For instance, I was laying in bed the other night, needing a drink of water. I debated with myself for 15 minutes. Who should I ask? When should I ask them? I don't want to interrupt them from doing what they're doing. And eventually, after 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I just need to do it. So I went ahead and did it. This negative thinking leads to more negative thinking, which causes what Mr. Ziegler calls stinking thinking. I've learned that life and death is in the power of the tongue. We can choose to either destroy ourselves with stinking thinking or speak life into ourselves with encouraging words. I chose to speak life into myself with encouraging words. Now, don't laugh at what I'm about to tell you. So in the mornings, after I get up and get dressed, I like to, I got a full-length mirror in my bathroom. I usually roll in there, check myself out, making sure I'm looking fly. And I find something about myself that I like. And I encourage you to do the same thing in the morning. You find something you like about yourself. So I look in the mirror and I look at my eyes and I'm like, ooh, I love those cocoa brown eyes. And like that smile, ooh, that smile right there, it makes me smile. And then I bite my bottom lip. I'm like, you are a sexy beast. This makes me laugh and get rid of stinky thinking. In the book, The Stress Overload Solution, Lauren Mellon says, don't wait for joy, create joy. Another way of beginning with the end in mind. And so I want you to write this down, and you may already be writing it down. But in the mornings, while you're in the mirror finding something that you like about yourself, I want you to say this: I create joy in my life. I want y'all to say it with me. I create joy in my life. Again, I create joy in my life. Come on, give me some more energy.
I create joy in my life.
Again,
I create joy in my life.
one more time, give me it loud.
I create joy in my life.
Yes, because you gotta feel it. You gotta feel that energy. Yeah. You gotta feel that energy. You gotta bring it, because if you just say it and not feel it, it's hard to bring it to existence. So again, as you get out and go throughout your day, again, it's all about being in the present, finding joyful experience throughout your day. And later on that night, right before you go to bed, I want you to say it again. I create joy in my life. What are you gonna say?
I create joy in my life.
Yes. And then I want you to reflect on 3 joyful experiences that you have in your life. And go to bed with that on your mind. Because you have to encourage yourself in order to help others flourish. So now let's talk about the end. Never quit. Even though that I encourage myself with positive words, I was still struggling with the feeling of feeling worthless. I had to do one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. I've had to look within and see how I was stopping myself from transforming fully. I've always liked a challenge. I believe a challenge brings out the best in me. It reveals who I am and my capabilities. Overcoming self-limiting beliefs has been one of the hardest things that I've had to overcome. And I still overcome them daily. Self-limiting beliefs are those assumptions that we have about ourselves that keep us from achieving our goals. Self-limiting, self-limiting beliefs usually derive from our self-image, how we see ourselves. And that begins when we're at an early age, and it transforms as we get older, and it can be tainted by life experiences. For instance, I thought I was less than a man after my injury. I thought that a man was supposed to be able to fix things around the house, be the financial provider, and protect his family. I was no longer able to do that anymore, being paralyzed from the neck down. I felt like I had no value or purpose. I felt worthless. And on the inside, I cried below the surface. And then I recognized that no one was making me feel like this. I was choosing to feel this way. I recognized that I was tired of feeling inferior, and I wasn't going to feel inferior anymore. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your permission." So I decided to go ahead and take action because I already knew if it was to be, it was up to me. And so I slowly started changing how I saw myself. And I wrote something that I call it one of a kind by design. And I just want to share it with you to encourage you, to let you know you're one of a kind by design. You are created as one of a kind by design. There's never been one like you, and there will never be again. You are a difference maker. Your actions influence lives and empower generations to thrive. You are valuable, and what you do today sends ripples into eternity. And if you want this, you can find this the book, in the TRENELL Effect book. It's in Never Quit and in the appendix, where you'll be able to personalize it yourself. And once I was aware of this, I realized that, hey, I was taught to never give up. I was taught to never give up at an early age. It started when I was 6 years old with my brother. And we played this game called Up the Middle. And basically, just imagine that we have two pillows. So they're spread about 5 or 6 feet apart. And my brother would be like on where the table is representing the defense. And I would be kind of like where I am representing the offense. And the whole object of the game is that I had to get past him without running outside. So for me, just realize he was bigger than me. It was like a real scene out of the Bible, David versus Goliath. And you already know how that turned out. So my first attempt that I tried to do, I was fast and I tried to use my speed to run outside. It was outside the cone. But that was a mistake because my brother grabbed me, pushed me in the wall so hard, I flew in and stuck there like a portrait. I looked at him. He was like, "You mad? Good, get mad. Do it again." So I went back to my position. I did it again. This time I was just gonna run him over, plow him over, knock him on his back and score. That was a mistake too. Because the closer I got to him, he grabbed me again and he pushed me backwards, causing me to do backwards flips I didn't know I could do. I got up with tears of frustration. My body ached from hitting the ground and the wall. I got smart. I ran toward him as fast as I could. He lunged at me. I jumped at the last minute, diving over his head. He hit my feet, causing me to flip in the air. I landed on my back, ball in hand. Touchdown, game over. This game taught me to never quit, no matter how hard it gets. I had to learn how to see myself differently, and I had to believe that I could do it. Again, I had to begin with the end in mind. Another thing that I had to do was Get rid of all those self-limiting beliefs and replace them with beliefs that unleash my unstoppable potential. For instance, this morning, I have one that I say that I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I make it do what it do. I'm valuable and successful in all that I do. I'm unstoppable. I believe this to be true. I'm valuable and successful in all that I do. And I will tell myself I'm an incredible, phenomenal speaker, person, and a man. Believing in my capabilities and believing in my capabilities and using my mind to the fullest to achieve my goals, I recognize that I am unstoppable, and you are too. Remember that. Write this down on your paper. I'm unstoppable. And sometimes doubt tries to creep in, but this is where I never lose sight of my goals. And as a result, I have been able to graduate from the University of North Texas with a bachelor's in rehabilitation studies. I got a master's in rehabilitation counseling. I am a rehabilitation counselor. I'm a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer, as well as a DISC certified to teach the DISC model of human behavior. But more importantly, my childhood dream, my goals, I've been able to retire my mom from her job, buy her a house on January 25th, 2000. I paid the last house payment for my mom, so now she is a homeowner. I'm not trying to impress you, but to impress upon you. It's impossible to stop a motivated person because they will never quit. My advice to you from what I've learned is to work on your self-image every day to keep it positive, to keep you motivated. And learn to replace those self-limiting beliefs with beliefs that unleash your unstoppable potential. Now this leads us to the evaluate. Even though never quitting is important, I encourage you to evaluate your life. And one of the ways I encourage you to do that, hey Michael, can you have those papers about the water? And I'm about to pass you out a paper, but I want you to challenge you by asking you, do you know your why? And as he passed this paper around, I just want you to take your time and just write it down on a piece of paper. And are you living your best life? And if not, what steps are you taking to get it? I have been having to evaluate my life a lot lately. It's not have been my why, because I understand that I'm a vessel that inspires others to never quit, no matter how hard it is. I have been evaluating the what. What am I going to do if something happens to my mother? Because she's getting older, she's my primary caregiver. Who is going to be in my life that I can trust enough? And as I started thinking about these questions, it caused me to begin with the end in mind. And my mom always has told me ever since my injury, I'm not going to always be here. So I started formulating a plan. And I encourage you, as you evaluate your life, learn to start formulating a plan to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And I formulated a plan to be able to contact 5 friends that I knew genuinely cared about me. I asked them if they could come over on a weekend to help learn how to stretch, get me out of bed, as well as into the wheelchair and do my grooming and everything like that. I had 5 of them come through. I taught all 5 of them. And 2 weeks later, my mom needed to go to Beaumont on a trip. Guess what? By beginning with the end in mind, I was able to have people in place to be able to put me in bed at night, to get me up that morning. I had my friend Chris, had my stepdad put me in the bed at night. I had my friend Nix come over that morning to help get me out of bed. And later on that night, I had my cousin to help put me in the bed, as well as a friend on Sunday to get me out. Evaluation can help lead to your destination. Now let's go with the L to learn. As you evaluate your life, learn at least one or two things that you can gain from it. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So once you get started, do your best. And as you reach your best, better your best. Because Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. I like to say, when you learn, you earn respect for yourself, others, and you can possibly earn more money. And the last L is for love. A wise man said, love thy neighbor as thyself. Keywords, love thyself. Can an empty water pitcher quench the thirst of a withering plant? Can you genuinely love someone and give the love if you don't truly love yourself? And this has been one of the hardest parts of the Trenell Effect for me. Because as you heard earlier, I'm going through a lot of depression. I've dealt with a lot of emotional, mental, and emotional stress. But it got to the point where I needed to just start writing to really get what was on the inside out. Because I want you to remember this. Buried emotions are not dead emotions. They will resurrect themselves when you least expect them. It may be
So good. Can you say that again?
Buried emotions are not dead emotions. They will resurrect themselves when you least expect. It may be blowing up on someone, or it may be to the point where you don't want to say nothing, and you end up experiencing depression. Because I want you to, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm going to say it since I'm feeling it. Just imagine yourself being in a soda pop with a twist top. And the liquid's in the bottom. If the liquid in the bottom represents your emotions, and as you continue to shake up that liquid, shake up that bottle, shake it up, shake it up, shake it up, and something in your environment has caused you to get angry or mad or whatever it is, and those emotions all shook up. Whenever you twist off that top immediately after you shaking it up, what happens? It spews all over you. You blow up. That's representing you. You blow up and all your emotions going to somebody else, damaging you and your relationship. So now let's take the same scenario. Imagine you shaking that bottle up, shaking the bottle up, shaking the bottle up, but this time you refuse to take off that top. What happens to the soda? It goes flat. That is the same as being depressed. Because now you don't want to say nothing to anybody or anyone because you don't want to feel their reactions, so you suppress your emotions. Now let's look at it a different way. Just imagine you shaking, you got something in your life and you shaking that soda bottle up and your emotions up. Well, this time instead of twisting it off real fast and holding it in, you decided to twist a little bit at a time. By twisting it a little bit at a time, you hear that? That's equivalent of you finding a healthy way to express your emotions. And you do a little bit at a time. You do a little bit more at a time, getting those emotions out, till eventually you're able to twist the top off and enjoy the inner goodness of that soda. Because you are good. The emotion that you have are good. You just gotta learn to control it. So, and one of the things that I did to be able to twist that top off during my time when I was depressed was I wrote a poem because I expressed my emotions in poetry. It was, what do I do? What do I do when I feel like I'm a burden? Others say I'm not, but that's not for certain. When I ask, I'm presented with the frightening mask. Oh, what a contrast. What am I to do? Laugh and simply let it pass? Maybe it's a misinterpretation, distorted imagination concerning the relationship. With a chip on my shoulder, heavy like a boulder, maybe down as I grow older. But the more I started journaling and really getting to know the real me, the more I went to counseling and really started getting tools that I could use to be able to be a better person. I learned that I'm no longer a burden, but I'm a blessing, and that I'm a vessel. And so are you. You are a vessel. And so I wrote another poem called I Am a Vessel. But I'm not going to share my version with you. I'm going to share the version that I wrote for you. Each one of you are a vessel being used to inspire. You are a vessel that men admire. You are a vessel can get up again. You are hold on, let me start over. You are a vessel being used to inspire. You are a vessel climbing higher and higher. You are a vessel that can get up again. You are a vessel that someone loves and respects. You are a vessel that can move around. You are a vessel that turns rounds upside down. You are a vessel that enjoys life. You are a vessel that's soaring to higher height. Yes, you are a vessel. What? You are a vessel. Yes. So now, I have a question to ask you. Would you want to know what your effect is? Turn to the next page, and we're going to do this brief exercise. Hey, will somebody read the instructions out loud, please?
The life effect, enhancing effect?
Yes, just
Okay.
read out.
Using the letters of your first name, form an acronym that describes your character. Then write a short affirmation that describes why the characteristic is important.
Yeah, we'll give you a few minutes to do that. And Michelle, what my time is?
You do you, and we'll figure it all out.
Okay.
They'd rather hear from you than me, so.
Oh, and on the next
We got an
page,
amen.
I think on the next page there are some letters, there are some words that you can use. And if not, use Universal Google. I think it's
You just did Jess, didn't you?
I did.
This is where everybody goes by their nickname.
Great.
I got a lot of letters.
Savvy.
Yeah.
It's hard.
so remember to write the affirmation that goes along with it.
So good.
Yeah. We have a few people that couldn't make it, so.
Okay, gotcha. So, do we have any brave souls in here that would like to read their effect?
I will in a minute.
Okay.
I'll fill some space.
Okay, go ahead.
Attitude, new day, dream, rely on Christ, everyone else, Word of God.
What's your information?
I'm a winner, I was born to win, I'm a winner, I was born to win, I'm a winner, I was born to win. Three times.
You
Awesome,
really wrote that.
Appreciate the share. We got one, we got some more.
I'll share around. I got a lot of letters. Magnetic, inspire others, creative, happy, evaluate, love, lead, and enjoy the little things.
Okay.
Oh, my affirmation?
Yeah.
Still working on that,
Actually, I was gonna say, actually, just read the letter and then the affirmation that goes with it. Like for the M.
but, oh. Okay, well, I didn't do that. I wrote a sentence.
I would use mine for example.
Okay.
Take action.
Yeah.
Proper action leads to satisfaction. The R is resilient. Be resilient. Because be resilient can take 2 steps back, can lead to a great comeback. E, encourage. Encourage to help one flourish. The N, never quit. It's impossible to stop a motivated person because they will never quit. The E is for evaluate. Why? Evaluation leads to the destination. The L, learn. Why? Because when you learn, you earn respect for yourself, others, and you can possibly earn more money. The L is for love. Why? Because love is a gift from above. Learn and love. I thought it said love. Love is a gift from above. Yeah. Because you can make more money. Thank you for looking at it up. See, that's why you're my assistant pimp. Okay, don't look at this. Pimp is for positive, influential, motivating person. I'm the pimp, he's my assistant pimp. So does anybody else want to share before I wrap this up? I know y'all got some good ones out there. Just looking at me like, yeah, I'm gonna share mine.
I don't have one of mine. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Sincerity, be sincere with those you love to share yourself with them, which I guess could also be share. Applause, lift up others and applaud their accomplishments as well as your own.
It's a good one.
Responsible, take responsibility for your day, life, and attitude. I have one more A that I can't think of,
That's
so
good.
I'll take
Adaptable.
suggestions.
Amazing.
Adaptable, that's a good one.
Appreciation.
And
I got it.
okay.
Alright, well, I don't have my E all the way, but, M, moments, grab the moments. I, inspire others to live a life they love. C, create experience of joy. Or create experiences, really, because that's what it's all about. H, find the, happy. Find the joy, find the happy. E, enjoy the little things. L, learn, always be learning. L, is love, show and share love. And then E, I haven't finished my E. I'm like Sarah, I'm working on my last one.
So do we got one?
Energy.
Huh?
Energy.
So
Yeah, that's
do
what
we
I
got
was
one more? Who wants to share?
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right, so I will use my legal name, which nobody's ever allowed to call me, but it's easier than Jimi. So James is my legal name. So joy. I typically am a very joyful person, attentive, motivated, encouraging, and this is going to sound smart.
You got your affirmation with that.
Yeah, no, you don't have to tell me how smart I think I am, so there you go.
And the reason why, because the acronym itself shows you your value. The affirmation shows you your influence, your effect. It is your legacy. Because this is who you are, and who you are every day. And the people you meet, whether it's somebody you know or you don't know, you're planting the seed of the Michelle effect. You're planting the seed of the Sarah effect or the Jess effect. And someone else may come through and water that seed, and the higher power gives it the increase. Or the seed may already be planted, but when they meet you, your effect waters that seed, and the higher power gives the increase. Because I say legacy are the seeds that we plant that produce fruit in others' lives that benefit them that we may never get to see. So you have just created your legacy that you can look at every day, along with your why. Now you can look at your why and understand why you do what you do. Now you recognize that, hey, I have an effect that is influencing lives and the people that are around me. Yeah, I encourage you to put both of those up where you can see them every day and speak life into yourself to let you know you are valuable and you're unstoppable. You have just experienced the Trenell Effect. Let it infect you and move you to take action, be resilient, encourage, never quit, evaluate, learn, and love. And I have an evaluation form I'd like for you all to just fill out to let me know how I'm doing. And I got books over here if you want to buy them. They're like $22. So, are there any questions?
Thank you so much.
That's my pleasure.